All right, you guys. So today we are going to get a look at the vintage collection Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back carbon freezing chamber, again from the vintage collection. So very cool, very awesome set. In my opinion, there were several skeptics when we got the announcement for this particular playset, and me myself, I'm always a glass half full type of person, so I wanted to give this set a chance before I actually gave my final thoughts on this particular set. So guys, we are going to get a look at the playset. It also comes with a figure, and we'll get a look at that as well. And then also what I'm going to do in this video, guys, is I'm going to present to you ways that you improve upon the set and kind of make it your own. So getting you a look at the box, we have our depiction of the freezing chamber and that particular scene with all of the somewhat available figures for that scene. They've obviously filled in the scene with a couple of figures that are not from the vintage collection, but looks very cool, very awesome, even with some of the missing detail that should be there for the scene, but very cool. And then of course we have the set off to the side by itself, our vintage collection logo, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back logo with the banner wrapped around it, and then of course Disney and Hasbro logos. On the side of the box, we also get a look at one of very few features for this particular playset, which is the freezing chamber and the activation or the lifting of the carbonite, the Han and carbonite, which also comes with your set. We'll get a look at that figure as well. But that is one of very few interactive features that you have with this particular playset. So on the surface, again, it may look disappointing, but if you use your imagination, you can actually make this out to be a very, very cool set, guys. And we're gonna, again, get a look at that later on in this video. On the top of the box, again, you have the, you actually have two of the sets put together, which would give you the full scale diorama, the way it was actually intended to be. But again, in order to get that, you would have to purchase two of these sets, which again, these sets retail at $99 a piece. But again, I was able to get a fairly decent deal on that second set. And then again, you have that same picture of the set, half a piece of the set off to the side, and the carded stormtrooper that comes with the set as well. Our Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back logo, carbon freezing chamber, Kenner, and then of course all of our other readables. And then for the bottom of the box, again, we have a depiction of all of the figures and the Ugnaughts holding the carbonite, Han and the carbonite, and kind of gently, well, somewhat gently placing them down onto the floor there, guys. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back logo once again, Hasbro, Kenner logo, all of our readables, Disney logo, very cool stuff. And then to finish things off with the box, again, we have our, on the other side of the box, we have our Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back logo, carbon freezing chamber, Vader and Luke Skywalker on the platform. Very cool, very awesome stuff. All right, guys, so we're gonna pull them out of the box, and well, wait a minute. I've actually already pulled everything out of the box, out of one of the boxes anyway. And that is a partial setup of the freezing chamber. And as you can see, I did add on a couple of features to it, but we're gonna cover those features in just a moment. What I'm going to do for you guys now is I'm gonna go ahead and set up this portion of the chamber together, just so you guys can see what the construction is like. We'll get a look at that, and then we'll place it with this particular set, then we'll go ahead and get a look at the figures that come with the set, and also get our figures in a very cool diorama style for our playset, guys. So be sure to stay tuned. All right, guys, so before I continue on, I want to give a shout out to Lenny Quinn, who is a collector in one of the many Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I'll go ahead and give you a look at what Lenny Quinn was able to do. So as you can see, he did an excellent job with the clamp specifically and the lighting with that additional piece that he created there. So an excellent job by Lenny Quinn. Shout out to you. Right there, very cool stuff. And I just wanted to do my interpretation of what he was able to do right there, guys. So getting you a look at the contents in the box as they are presented in the box. So we have all of our pieces kind of spread out here. Everything that comes in the set is set out here. You have your the top flooring of the chamber that leads up to where you initially see Vader in the fight scene in the freezing chamber. And then you also have the steps that lead up to that platform. You have your legs for the platform right there. Again, your railings. You have your Han Solo and Carbonite, which is really awesome. So we're going to get a comparison between the one that comes with your carded Han Solo and of course this one as well. And then to continue on, just behind Han Solo, again you have the chamber right there. And then you have the bottom portion of the chamber, that circular piece right there. You have your stormtrooper back there, and you have your instructions just behind that. So those are all of your pieces that come in the set. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. Giving you guys a look at the instructions. It's a very easy build. It shouldn't take too long to put this thing together. The pieces are snap tight fit. And as you guys know, I've already put one together already. Didn't take long, so that's why I didn't feel bad about demonstrating that here for you guys today. So let's put this thing together. All right, you guys, so starting with the bottom half portion of the platform itself, which is very cool, very awesome, and get you guys a very good look at that. Just very nice, cool little piece. Looks pretty good, right? Very nice with the orange underneath it right there, which is really awesome. And then of course underneath you have the peg holes where you would place your legs. So these are your legs. You get 5 of the long legs, and then you also get 3 of the smaller legs. The 3 small legs will go into the circular portion of the platform. This end of the leg is what goes into the platform. So this is going to be the bottom portion of your leg for the stand. And they simply just plug right in, as you guys can see, with little effort. Very cool. Then of course it stands very nicely. Very awesome. Doesn't wobble. Very nice. And then of course here you have your top side of the platform. Very nice. Underneath you have 5 different peg holes, and then you also have 4 additional smaller right here. Those 4 holes. Then we take this piece, one of the railings, out, and this is going to be the bottom portion of the cage that's at the top of the platform where we initially see Vader as he enters the freezing chamber when he confronts Luke Skywalker. So again, in those 4 small holes, you peg the legs of this particular part of the cage into those 4 holes. Very simple, very easy. Pops in very simple, very easily. And then you go ahead and put your legs in. There's no particular, from what I understand, way to put the legs in or order to put the legs in. You just place them in as you see fit. I guess my preference would be to have any of the legs that have this wiring to be on the outside, just for looks. But again, you can do yours the way you want. Maybe you want to turn yours to the inside, just to fill up the inside of the chamber. But some of the legs, as you can see, do not come with any of the wiring. It's just a straight leg. But again, I don't know if that makes a difference on where the leg should be placed. I'm just simply going by my own preference on how I want to situate the legs. So now that you have that portion of the stand, so once you have your stand all set up, you're all good to go. So I did notice that with this stand, there is a little bit wobbliness. I tried to work the legs. I even put the legs in the same position that they are on the instructions, and it's still a little wobbly. But there is a connection with the steps to this platform, which could stabilize it. So we'll see how that goes. So our next step requires us to put this piece on. So you want to turn the platform on this side, which is the steps would go on this side. This is the other side of that platform, and when you get a look at everything, you'll see exactly. It's very self-explanatory. And then you want to get it underneath the legs there. So you want to take it and put it underneath the legs and bring it up over the top. And then you want to go ahead and start inserting these pieces first. So once you have all of these pieces secured in the little holes that are on the platform, as you guys can see right there, I hope you can see that. Then what you want to do is there's pegs right here and a little hole on the underneath piece, and you want to connect those pieces, kind of push it in there, and it fits in really nicely. And forgive me if I'm taking away from the light, guys. I'm trying to stay out of the light, but it's very hard while I'm doing this. But as you can see, these two pieces slide in very, very nicely. The upper platform to this side, where the steps would be going this way. Then you want to take this particular piece out, which is the other side of the railing there. And of course, again, you want the pegs facing inward. And you don't slide this one underneath the legs. This one fits on the outside of the platform, not particularly inside like the other side. And again, you have the two holes for the railing that goes underneath. And again, you just simply slide the two pegs into the holes. Kind of holds everything very, very sturdy. And then the last piece of your platform is going to be this particular top piece right here. And then of course you want to make sure this is the top side, the short side of the whole side, if you will, the short side of the whole side, if that makes any sense to you guys. And then once you've completed the top side, you simply slide the pegs that are on the each side railing into the holes for the top piece, the four holes there, and you're good to go with your top side of the platform. So I actually did skip a step right after you put the platform together, it actually calls for you to put the chamber together, which is fairly simple and very easy. You have the bottom half of the chamber, and there's like little slots there on the bottom to kind of help you get it fitted in there. So once you get it inside, you simply twist it, and now you're good to go. It won't pop off. It kind of locks itself in. You have these two little notches on either side of the chamber itself. You want to make sure that those two notches slide. You want to make sure that they slide right inside of the chamber itself. So it is a very cool and snug fit. There you have your chamber, which is locked inside. You have your steps, which are really cool. They have the translucent orange underneath there. So that's really cool. And you have a couple of notches at the top of the top platform. And it fits very snug to the top. You have a crease that runs on the outer edge of the bottom portion of the platform itself, which there's a little bit of a notch that helps it fit right into that circular crease right there. So that's really cool. And now everything is connected. Just to get you guys a better look at everything put together. As you can see, it's just very cool set. Very nice diorama piece. Not too bad. A little pricey, especially if you have to buy two to complete it. But again, as we get further into this review, I'm going to show you some things that you can add to it to kind of spice it up a little bit. So before I continue on with the playset and all of the additions that I've added to the playset, obviously we need to cover the figures that come with the playset, the additions to the playset, which are very, very cool. So we're going to start with the Han and Carbonite, so you get a good look of Han in the Carbonite. And again, we've gotten a couple of these guys in the vintage collection so far, and I want to get a comparison of this particular version of the Carbonite. Very cool detail there. I even like the different colors there to show that everything's lit up and activated. But very nice stuff all the way around. Just really, really cool detail on this thing. Getting you a good look at Han in the Carbonite himself. Just an awesome job on this particular piece. Very, very nice. So I wanted to get you guys a comparison between the Carbonite, which is this one, and comes with the carded Han Solo for the Return of the Jedi Han Solo after he's at Jabba's palace once he's released from the Carbonite. However, you can use this guy, same guy, for this particular scene because that's what he had on the last time we saw him before he reappears in the Return of the Jedi. But again, this is the Carbonite that comes with that carded figure, and I just wanted to give you guys a very quick comparison. And I know the lighting is kind of makes it hard to tell, but as you can see, the one that comes with the playset is a lighter gray than the one that we got with the carded figure, but it looks like everything else is pretty much the same detail wise. It's your outer casing is a darker gray than the one that comes with your playset. So that's very cool, very nice stuff. And getting you a look on the inside of the chamber, as you can see, there's a slot where you can slide them in right there. So we're gonna go ahead and slide him into that little slot. So he's in there, he's all set. At this point, the chamber is at its low point. This is as low as you're gonna be able to get the Carbonite to go. So as you can see, the Carbonite does kind of stick up a little bit from out of the chamber, which is not a big deal, not anything that's detrimental to the set or anything. It just would have been nice if the carbonite was totally concealed in its down position, and then you can reveal it once you get it in the up position. And to get it in the up position, as you can see, there are two small tabs on either side of the chamber. So you take your fingers with those tabs and you press them and you slide it up, and it will hold its position in the up position. I believe that's as far up as it's gonna get, but it will hold its position, which is cool. And then of course you can slide it down, and it will actually hold its position at any height that you have it. It's kind of on a kind of a track, if you will, in there. So that's pretty cool, pretty awesome. And then again, all the way down to its lowest point. And then for the chamber itself, just to get you a look at the detail, it's not bad. It would have been nice if these wires were painted. That would have been cool addition to it. But again, if you use your imagination, if that was something I was thinking about before I put this all together, I might have painted these just to give it a little additional detail and flavor. Would have been nice. So that may be something that I do later on down the line. You know, paint those wires up, make it look just a little bit better with a little more detail. Your set does come with a Stormtrooper, your Star Wars Empire Strikes Back Stormtrooper on a card back. Now, as I had mentioned, the way that the card back is placed in the box, it just wasn't placed securely. So you kind of more than likely are going to end up with a card back that's warped a bit. The good thing about this is that Stormtroopers are army builders, and I most definitely am a army builder. So if I do come across this, once this particular figure gets a single release, because this is a new card back for this trooper. I think this is the first time that they're using this particular card back. This is actually from the Empire Strikes Back. As you can see, that orange light is illuminated off of the Stormtrooper there. So once we get this on a single card release in the wild, I'll probably more than likely pick one up if I can find one where the card isn't warped up. But unfortunately for both of my sets, both troopers came out warped. For the back of the card, you have a full picture of the wave. I just picked up my Commander Wolf in the wild yesterday at GameStop, which is cool. Got picked up K2SO. He came in a pre-order. So did Luke Skywalker, Maul, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. Those guys also came through on a pre-order just the other day. And then of course your Stormtrooper is available in this set, but again, I'm sure he's going to get a single card release as well. And pulling our Stormtrooper out of the packaging, very cool guy. Not too different from what we received with the Remnant Stormtrooper for the Mandalorian. I do like the hinges that are in the shoulder. Allows the articulation, the arm to go straight up or straight out, which is really good. That's awesome. So you're definitely getting a very awesome T-pose with this guy. And your Stormtrooper also comes with a very cool holster. I can't recall seeing a holster on any of the recent releases of Stormtrooper figures. I believe this is something new, but I could be wrong. I just can't recall if I've seen that. And it's not a full-on holster. As you can see, the gun is exposed on the other side, but it kind of hides it a little bit, so it kind of works out. It's not too bad looking. So that's pretty cool. All right, guys, so now that we've gotten a look at our figures and some of the features of the set itself, let's go ahead and get a look at some of the add-ons that I put with this particular set. So getting you guys a look at some of the additions that I added to this particular set, and you do have various options that you can use. You don't have to go with what I used here. This is simply what I decided to go with. So getting you guys a look at the set itself, and I have an orange light bulb that's underneath the bottom portion of the platform. There is an orange light bulb behind those stairs there to illuminate that. The clamp and the top portion of the chamber, makeshift clamp that I put up there for a very cool and simple diorama. So just getting you guys a full-on view, a full-on look at everything. And the other steps there. I don't have those steps illuminated yet. I do have an idea for that. I will get that completed once we get into the diorama portion of the playset. So there it is, guys. I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Alright, you guys, so there it is, your vintage collection carbon freezing chamber. Very, very cool, awesome playset. Again, it is a bit of a plain playset as it's presented in the box. One of my gripes with this particular set is the fact that there are no pegs with the particular set, so you can peg your figures down and have them standing in place, especially seeing how you'll have to use a lot of the different Power of the Force and different other figures from other lines as opposed to the vintage figures for this particular set, because those figures don't quite stand on their own. So it would have been nice to have some pegs with this set, just so you can peg those figures down and have them standing in place. So one of the other issues is the fact that you don't have many of the figures that you would need for this set available in the vintage collection line. So that is a bit unfortunate. I know they are coming out with some of the figures. We have the Princess Leia, which should be available for this particular set sometime after January. We have the Han. We need Lando. Chewie with C-3PO would be nice, and a couple of the Bespin guards as well would be very, very awesome, and the Ugnaughts as well. So very cool set, guys. But as you can see, if you put a little imagination to it, you can actually put something together that is really, really awesome, guys. So you can just add your own additions and have a really, really awesome playset, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost. May the Force be with you always.